Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I'd go through all of the main features that are in Design Space and explain to you what they all do and how you can use them and what you can do for your designs to make life easier by using all these different features in Design Space. I know when I first started using Cricut Design Space, I honestly thought, what on earth does all this mean? And I remember calling up one of my friends who'd got a Cricut a few months before me and asking her, how do I do this? What is all this stuff? And I was so close to giving up, and there is no sort of manual for how to work any of this stuff in Cricut Design Space, and it is really learning yourself and, you know, watching people like me show you how to do these sorts of things. So I thought this video might be really helpful for a lot of you. So I'm going to go through all the main features. I'm going to show you welding and grouping, attaching, how to turn your images into print then cut so that your machine will recognize that and you can make your own designs up. I hope this video does help you and that you'll find it really useful. Let's get started with some of these Cricut Design Space features. The first feature that we're going to look at is Slice, and what Slice does is allows you to pick out one shape and cut out basically another shape from inside of that one. So as an example, I'm just going to get a couple of shapes on the screen now. So I've got this square. I'm going to go and choose a circle as well and just pop it over the top of the square and just get it aligned in the center so it's nice and equal on all sides. And I'm going to align that just up the top by using the drop down box there. And then I'm just going to change the circle to be a different color. So what I'm going to do using Slice is cut out a hole through the middle of that square. You can only slice 2 layers at the same time, so you need to make sure you're only selecting 2 layers. Because I've only got the 2 shapes on the screen, I can just click on select all or just drag the 2. And now you can see they're both highlighted on the right hand side as being selected. So if I go down to the bottom and click on Slice, we'll now get a third layer appear on the right hand side, and these are our slice results. So you can see there is our first pink circle. The middle is out of that square, so we can get rid of these 2 circles just by dragging them out of the center and get rid of them. And there is what we set out to do, a nice hole through the middle of our square. So the next feature that I'm going to look at is Weld, and Weld is basically a permanent fix. So once you click on Weld, you can't really go back. You can click on undo, but if you've gone too far through, it's going to be too messy to do. So I'm just going to grab some text and I'm going to put a little image next to it. So I'm just going to grab some champagne glasses and pop them on the screen as well. So with Weld, you just need to make sure that once your design is done, you are absolutely happy with how it is, because once you click Weld, really, it is done and dusted. It's difficult to change it. It's not like group and ungroup. You can't weld and unweld. So we've got these 2 things on the screen now, and I'm just going to click on Make It to show you that they are going to come up on 2 separate mats because we haven't welded our image together. So let's just cancel that and then select both of those layers again. So you can see on the right hand side that they are highlighted, or you can click on the select all icon as well. Click on Weld at the bottom, and now that becomes 1 layer with a basic cut. So if we click on there, it's going to mirror our canvas completely. So that is Weld. The next feature I'm going to look at is Duplicate. So I've just gone into my Cricut Access and I'm just going to choose a design to go on the screen. Duplicate is pretty self-explanatory. It's going to duplicate the image that you've got on the screen, and it's pretty easy. You can either duplicate or you can use copy and paste. It's entirely up to you, but this is how to duplicate. So this image that we've got up here has got 2 layers, the red, Beware, and the black. So I'm going to show you first of all how we can ungroup this to make it into individual pieces that we can move around. So you just go up the top and click on ungroup. Now it is 2 separate layers, so we can move them around. If we wanted to, we could even delete the beware and change it for somebody's name or something fun like that. So I'm just going to select it back again and group it back together now. Okay, and then up the top next to the group and ungroup icons is the duplicate button. So I'm just going to go up to the top and click on that. Ta-da! There's another beware. So that's really easy, super way of getting another copy of your design really quickly. If you're on a Mac, you could also double click and you can choose from the drop down menu that appears there. There it is. You've got cut, copy, paste and duplicate. So that's another way of doing it. The next feature I'm going to look at is the attach feature, and what attach does is basically mirrors your canvas exactly the same. So if you put something on your canvas and you get your layout perfect on your canvas using a template like I am now on the screen with my white box, once you have arranged everything on your canvas and then you hit attach, it's going to be mirrored on your mat. So when your design cuts out of your vinyl or whatever it is that you're doing, drawing or whatnot, it is going to mirror your canvas design precisely. So I'm just going to grab a few little bits and pieces and arrange them on my little template box here. So I've got some stars and it's my birthday. I'm just using the duplicate button like I've just showed you in the last section. I'm going to grab one more and pop it down the bottom and make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so I've got all the bits that I want on there. I'm now going to hide my template box, so just by clicking on the eye, and then I'm going to select everything I've got on my screen by dragging, and I'm going to change the colour all to the one grey, just so that it's easier to see for us now. We don't need to worry about different colours on the screen. So all of the layers are there separately now. If we click on make it, oh no, they're all over the place and this isn't how we want it to be, is it? So let's cancel and go back, and then we're going to click on select all at the top, and we're going to come down and hit attach. And now on the right hand side you can see all our layers are now sitting underneath this attach banner here, so they're all attached into one layer. Let's do make it again. And that mat mirrors our canvas exactly. So when we cut the vinyl, it's going to be exactly placed as we wanted it to be. So I haven't forgotten that you might now want to detach these stars or this It's My Birthday and change your design a little bit. So in order to do that, let's have a look at what we've got here. So all our little icons are still all attached to one another on the right hand side. So what we want to do is go down to the bottom here and click on detach, and you can see now that it's taken away that attach handle at the top, and we can now move every little bit individually so we can take them out or resize them or whatever we want to do. So next up is contour. Now I've got this apple design on the screen and I don't like those pips in the middle, so I want to get rid of them. And contour is the tool that we're going to use to do this. So I'm going to go down to the bottom and click on contour. And depending on how complicated your design is, it can take a while for it to come up. But this gives us all of the different layers that are on this design. And because it's all together, it only shows us one layer on the screen, but here in contour we can really get into the details of the design. So these are the two pips. If we just click on them and then go back to our screen, they have disappeared, and that's exactly what we want it to be. So we go back to contour again, we can slide down to the bottom and put them back in just by doing that, and they're back again. So that is how you can take bits and pieces out of designs without too much fuss. So the next feature that we're going to look at in Design Space is going to be the Flatten feature, which is what we want to use when we're making print then cut images. So we are going to grab a heart and make it red and then some text. And I'm going to just select all at the top. And then I am going to align that with the centre. So it puts it in the centre of my heart. And I'm going to make the heart a little bit bigger. And just align it again just to make it fit a little bit better. Now I don't like the way that Design Space aligns, so I'm going to move it down a little bit so it looks a bit more central to me personally. So we've got 2 different layers up here and they both say basic cut, but what we want to do is send this image to our printer and then have our printer cut around the heart afterwards. So let's just select it and flatten, and then now you can see that this has turned into a print then cut image. So now we can click on Make It, and on our mat it shows us that this is going to print. So we can click on continue and it will send it to our printer. And then once the printer has printed it, we put it on our mat and put it into our Cricut machine, and it's going to scan the page and use the black lines as its guides, and then it will cut around the heart. So we'll have a nice heart shaped icon there. The last feature that we are going to take a look at today is the colour sync feature. So I've got my text on the screen, happy 18th birthday Kate, and it's all in different colours here. So I'm just going to ungroup this birthday. And what we used to have to do before the colour sync feature came on board was select each letter and go up the top and manually change each colour here. Now, it's a bit long-winded. You can still do it that way if you want to, but you can also use the colour sync feature, which is just over here on the right hand side. It's next to layers up the top and just underneath the green Make It button. So if I click on that now, it shows me all of the colours that are in my design and which letters are in those colours at the moment. So if it was a picture, it would show you all of the different elements of your picture and what colours each little shape was, okay? So what you can do with this feature now is if I wanted to, say for instance, change more of the birthday to being this lighter blue instead of the darker one, all I need to do is come onto it and drag it down into that colour. So now I've got the B and the H in the paler blue, and I think I might want to do that R as well in the pale blue. So I'm going to change that from the orangey yellow into the pale blue. So I'm just going to click on the R and I'll drag it up to that layer, and then the A as well, so that they're alternating. And again, just drag it, and then I can change my P's if I wanted to. Let's make them black and the Y black, and that other A is red, so we want that to be, no, we want that to be red, and then we want the H to be black. So it's literally just a case of dragging and dropping in. It's just easier to change your colours that way, but to be honest with you, it's not a feature that I use very often. I do usually prefer to go into my layers and just select everything individually and change it this way. But again, it's a feature that is there for use, and it does make things a little bit easier sometimes. So that's all of the main features that you are likely to come across in Cricut Design Space. I hope you found this video to be useful and that it's going to help you now with all of your designs and things that you like to make with your Cricut. Of course, you may have questions. If you have, drop them down in the comments box below, and I always try to answer them as soon as I can. So all that's left to be said now is have a great week, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!